Hi, everybody. We are going to start our show today, and my name is Dr. Nisa, and this is the Dr. Nisa Show. And I am sitting in my living room in downtown Macon, Georgia. And as you can see, I'm still rocking the natural because it is still hot here. It's really hot. So I just wanted to let you know that today we're going to be talking about a few things as it relates to motor vehicle accidents. I have a lot of people that ask me questions about car accidents. I have a lot of patients that come to my office as it relates to car accidents. So I want to have an opportunity to talk to you about some of the 10 key things that you need to know when you have been in a car accident. All right, so again, I'm Dr. Nisa. This is the Dr. Nisa Show, and I just want to say hello to my wellness heads, and that is my term of endearment to all of you that are fans of Dr. Nisa. We are about wellness and holistic care, and so you are fondly called wellness heads. All right, so we're going to be talking about 10 key things that you need to really consider when you have been in a car accident. And the first one that I'm going to talk to you about, it may sound a little bit elementary, but it is something that most people forget about. When they are in an accident, I've had a lot of patients that have come into me and said, and I asked them, who was the other driver? And they was like, I don't know. So the first one that you need to think about, the first key thing is to always stop. Yeah. You're like, we all know we're supposed to stop for a car accident, but not only is it the right and ethical thing to do, it is the legal thing to do. You have a legal obligation to stop at the scene of the accident. And even though you may even think that there's no damage to your vehicle, it is important for you to stop and just stop, okay? So the first one, always stop. It's a legal obligation. It's the right thing to do. It's an ethical thing to do. Whether or not you think there's any damage to your car or not, you need to stop, all right? So number 2, and this is a big one, never admit responsibility for the accident. Never admit responsibility for the accident. Did you know that some of your insurance policies have a clause in it that says that you are not supposed to state responsibility for a car accident? It's in your contract. So your insurance policy is a legal binding contract. You need to make sure that you have read it properly and that you know what your responsibilities are. So you never assume responsibility. That's what the insurance company is for. Their whole purpose is to take care of claims. Let them decide who's responsible. Oh, hey, Nakia, how you doing? Thank you so much for chiming in. Welcome to the Dr. Nisa Jones, fondly call you wellness heads. And we're talking about the 10 key things that you need to know if you've ever been in a car accident or you ever will be in a car accident. And we said the number one thing is to always stop. It's our legal obligation to do that. And number 2, we want to never admit responsibility for the car accident. So number 3, the third thing that we want to do is we want to call the police. Even if it's a minor accident, we still want to call the police. Do you know how many times I've had patients come into my office and I ask them, where's your police report? And they're like, I didn't get one. Hey, Dr. Landy, thank you so much for tuning in. I didn't get one. I'm like, you didn't get one. You need a police report. It doesn't matter whether or not you see damage or whether or not you feel like you're hurt, it is important to make sure that there is some type of legal document or legal report on file for this incident. Here in the state of Georgia, and that's where I am, and I know some of you may be looking or listening from another state, but here in the state of Georgia, we have a statute of limitations for 2 years on car accidents. Injuries can show up later. Once you've taken your car to a repair shop, they could find frame damage to your car that you would never known anything about, and your insurance company may or may not, depending on your policy, may not take care of it if there's not a police report on file. So you want to make sure that you have that legal report on file. In some states, guys, it is a requirement to do so. So once you contact those authorities, you would have done your part as it relates to being in compliance with the law, and you also have protected your interests. Hey, Andrea, thank you so much for tuning in. So that's the important thing. You want to make sure that you protect your legal interests as well as you follow the law. So we've gone through 3 things as 3 of our 10 things that we're going to want to know about as it relates to car accidents. And one was, we want to always stop. Number 2, we want to never admit responsibility. And then number 3, we're talking about we need to call the police. So number 4, this is a hard part for a lot of people. The 4th thing is be quiet. I know it sounds elementary, but be quiet. Only answer the direct questions that are asked of you by the police officer. There's no need of having any side conversations with the other driver, and there's no need of divulging extra information to the police officer that he or she didn't ask. Be quiet. Silence. He who speaks last wins. Okay, so we want to be silent. We want to limit our conversation about the accident only, and we don't ever want to talk to the other party. We're going to only discuss the pertinent facts of the accident that the police officer asked you. Okay, so that's number 4. We want to be quiet. All right. Hey, just remember, when it's time to speak, there are certain people that you should be speaking to as it relates to this accident. That's an attorney if you should see fit to get one. That will be your medical professional once you seek care, and of course your insurance company. Those are really the only people that you should be speaking to as it relates to the car accident. Hi, Miss Hollins, how you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in. So number 5 is we want to make sure that we're going to get those facts about our accident. I will tell you, if it's one thing that I see in my office that most people are lacking as it relates to their accident or personal injury case, is that they just didn't get enough information at the time of the accident. They don't remember what kind of car the other person was driving. They don't remember what the other people look like. They don't remember if there was any witnesses on the scene. They just don't remember anything about it. And when you are been in a car accident like I have myself, your adrenaline is rushing. You're scared. You don't know what to do. You're kind of very anxious during that time. But it's very important for you to kind of take some deep breaths in, some woosahs, and you have to get the facts about your accident. You become your number 1 advocate on the scene of that accident. So this is the part that people forget to do. They remember things after the fact. So you want to get names, you want to get addresses, you want to get phone numbers of everyone involved. That's including the witnesses that are there. You want to make sure you get a good description of the car. You want to make sure you get the license plate. You also want to make sure that the insurance company, as well as the VIN number and policy number, is available to you as well. So we've gotten up to 5 things. Thank you so much for everybody that's tuned in. We're talking about the key things that you need to do when you've been in a car accident. We said number 1 was we need to always stop. Number 2 was we never want to accept responsibility. Number 3, we want to make sure we call the police. Number 4, we want to make sure we be quiet. And then number 5, we want to make sure we're getting the facts as it relates to our accident. So the 6th thing that we want to do is we want to take photos. Guys, we are in a very technological time in our life. We have these cell phones that we have with us all the time. So we want to make sure that we're taking plenty of photos of everything and get multiple angles of the incident or scene. So we want to make sure that we're taking photos of the car. We want to make sure we're taking photos of the intersection in which we've had our car accident. We want to make sure we're taking picture of witnesses. We want to take pictures of the other party. We want to take pictures of the license tag, all those things that I was just talking about before. As it relates getting those facts, we want to have some documentation of those facts as well. So we want to make sure that everything. I even go a step further. I'm going to take a picture of the police officer's name and badge, so I'll know who actually came out to the scene, so that if there's a discrepancy in my police report, I know who I need to call and contact in the future. So we're at number 6, so I'm going to give you a little tip. All right. I do have a form that I'm able to give to you, and it's a form that you will pre-fill and kind of have in your glove compartment already, and it have all the basics that you would need already kind of filled out. Hey Shay, how you doing? Thank you so much for joining in. It'll have all your basic information that you would need to give already there for you, and that way you're not fumbling trying to figure out where this is and where that is. And you can kind of avoid a situation also where somebody may have your photo ID. You know, guys, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. We are in a society where people will just claim your identity. And if you can keep from having to give somebody your ID outside of the officer, of course, you know, we want to prevent that at all costs. So I do have a form for you. And if you go ahead and like my business page at Dr. Nissa DC, DRNISSA DC, just send me an inbox saying you like the form with your email address. I will send that to you so that you'll have that for your glove compartment and have all your documents together. Okay. All right. So number 7. All right, guys, who all the guys that are just tuning in, we're talking about the 10 things that you need to make sure that you do when you're in a car accident. So number 7, you need to contact your insurance company. And this is another thing that I see in my office all the time is the people come in and they're like, I said, did you call your insurance company? I want the other party to be responsible. But again, that's where you have to read your insurance contract. Most insurance contracts state that whether you are at fault or not, you are to call them and let them know that you have been in a car accident. So many people are afraid that their insurance premiums are going to increase because they were in a car accident. But it is important for you to follow the rules of your contract that you have entered in with your insurance company. So whether you're at fault or not, it is your responsibility to call them immediately. So if you call them from the scene, guess what happens? You are able to give them more useful and accurate information at that time. And sometimes the police officer becomes an advocate for you because now they can give the insurance company so much more suitable information for you. So you want to make sure that you call your insurance company at that time. All right, so we've been talking about the 10 things that you need to do when you have been in a car accident. So number 1 is we're going to always stop. Number 2, we're going to never admit responsibility for the accident. Never do that. Number 3, we're going to call the police. Number 4, we're going to be quiet. Silence is golden at this time. Number 5, we want to get all the facts as it relates to our accident. Number 6, we want to take plenty of photos. And number 7, we want to contact our insurance company. All right. So we're going to go into next thing that I like to talk about when it comes to your insurance is some of the coverages that you want to maybe contemplate on before we get into number 8. And because I've had so much experience in personal injury, I just wanted to share this with you because a lot of patients come in and it's like, I really wish my insurance agent or had told me about that policy beforehand. So people ask me, why you know so much about personal injury? I said, well, because I was an insurance agent and an insurance adjuster before I was a chiropractor. And so I had an insurance license once upon a time. And so that's the reason why I'm so well versed on what some of the things that are going on and some of the avenues that you have to travel in personal injury. So let's talk about your insurance policy. Everybody, it's required in the state for you to have bodily injury and property damage on your insurance policy. But it is very important for you to carry some other extra coverages that on your policy. And 3 important ones are medical payments, uninsured motorists, and underinsured motorists. So we're going to talk about each one of those a little bit so you can kind of understand them and know what's going on with your insurance policy for your car. Now, medical payments is a policy that you're able to use whether you're at fault or not, and it will pay for you and your passengers' medical bills that arise from a car accident. Now, it's very important because you don't know what the insurance situation is with your passengers. And I'm quite sure many of us out there, we carry people around in our car all the time. And so because you don't know what their insurance situation is, if you are driving them around, you are responsible for them in your car. And so what the medical payments does is gives everybody some type of coverage for when they have to go to the doctor. All right. And it's very necessary, especially if you're in an accident where someone decides not to stop. So it becomes very valuable to you. And many of your private insurance companies do not pay out when you've been in a motor vehicle accident. All right. So medical payments. Then I talked about uninsured motorists. You need to have that on your policy because there's so many people that are driving around today that do not have insurance. We know that it's the law to have insurance, but that doesn't mean that everybody is, everybody's following the law. So we want to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves first. Our interests must be met first, all right? So uninsured motorists is going to take care of your car and you if someone hits you and they do not have car insurance. All right, the third one that I talked about was called underinsured motorists. All right, so when you have, let's say for an example, for the sake of an example, someone hits you and they only have the bare minimum for the state of Georgia, $25,000, $50,000 per incident, and you're driving around in your $75,000 car, or even your $52,000 car, or your $60,000 car, and they only have $25,000 on their policy. Guess what happens? If you don't have underinsured motorists on your insurance, you're going to be lacking as it relates to the difference between what your vehicle is worth and what their policy has. The policy only is going to pay out to its limits. There is no extra imaginary funds to be able to go and get. So underinsured motorist is important. So we were just talking about 3 coverages on your car insurance policy that you need to really consider adding to your coverage. And that's medical payments, uninsured motorists, and underinsured motorists. I'm going to recommend that you start out at an amount with your medical payments at the minimum at $5,000 because average emergency room visit after a car accident is going to be that at least, okay? But if you can get your policy somewhere at $10,000, you can make sure that not only you can get to the emergency room, but any other treatment that you would need after that would be covered in that amount. All right, so we're, hey, Nick, thank you so much for tuning in. Tara, see you as well. We're talking about the 10 things that you need to really consider when you have a car accident, the things you should do. And we were just going through number 1 through 7. We were saying that you need to always stop. We were also stating for number 2 that you never admit responsibility. Number 3, we want to make sure that we call the police, of course. Number 4, we want to be quiet. Number 5, we want to make sure we're getting those facts about the accident. Number 6, we want to make sure we're taking photos. And number 7, we were just saying that we need to contact our insurance company. And I was just giving you 3 extra coverages that you really should consider having on your policy with your insurance company. So let's get to 8. Number 8 is go to the emergency room. I know that you may not be hurting. I know that you think you feel okay. But you need to go to the emergency room because there are so many people that are getting concussion-like injuries from car accidents. And so you want to get checked out whether you feel okay or not. And you want to make sure you're okay. So even if everything is feeling great, you still need to go. All right. There are a lot of underlying things that may be happening within your body that you really need to let a medical professional check out. You just may not be aware that they're happening. Okay. So go to the emergency room. All right. Number 9, you need to go see the chiropractor. So you need to come to the chiropractor, or you need to go to any other medical rehabilitation specialist. I'm going to say come to the chiropractor. All right. And you're going to come and we're going to make sure that we're, going to look at your claim. We're going to look at you, make sure that you get properly rehabilitated for your injuries. Now, I am a personal injury specialist. I'm a personal injury expert. I'm going to make sure that I properly diagnose, properly treat, and document, because that's the word, document, to make sure we maximize your claims. All right. So you want to make sure that you have somebody that understands all the facets of the personal injury. And as I stated before, because of my background in insurance, it gives me a leg up. All right. So we want to make sure that you're going to have somebody that is going to be familiar with and have the experience of going to trial. That's one of the things that you want to consider when you're picking your personal injury. Picking your personal injury expert is that do they have the experience to go to trial for you? And when you go to trial, somebody has to sit there and be an expert witness for you. So you need somebody with that type of experience. You also want to get somebody that will make sure that they have very detailed medical charts, that they're going to have the extent and severity of your injuries, and they're going to document all the treatments and very accurate for you. Hey, Keith, thank you so much for tuning in. So as an expert in personal injury, I have experience working with insurance companies as well. And so I'll make sure that you are our first priority and that we take care of you first and it not be a headache for you. All right. So I'm going to do all the billing for you as it relates to your insurance company. So I'll just kind of eliminate that headache for you. All right. So all you have to really think about is getting well, getting better. All right. So I also have an excellent reputation with other orthopedics and neurologists here, and I will help co-manage your care if your injuries are more severe. So it's very important to know that even if you don't feel pain immediately, that you seek counsel from a chiropractor within about 24 to 72 hours after an accident. This is going to improve the outcome of your healing as well as ensure that a timely claim is filed. We want to also make certain that injuries are not at bay. And what I mean by that, sometimes you don't feel those injuries immediately, but your body may be speaking. And so when you're going to your medical professional, they'll be able to do an extensive exam on you and make sure that you don't delay getting healed quickly. All right, so we get to number 10, and number 10 is to call an attorney. I know everybody's saying, I got to call an attorney. Yeah, you need to call an attorney, all right, because a good, reputable, and I'm going to say that again, a good, reputable attorney will be, that's an expert in personal injury, will be your best advocate, because the attorney's job is to protect your rights. Listen. Those that are in the insurance business and the insurance companies, you best believe they have some attorneys sitting there advising them on what to do and what to say to make your claim go down. So if they have representation, you need representation. So you want to make sure that you're protecting your rights. You want to make sure that you are not saying things that is not maximizing your claim. And you want to make sure that you have an attorney that is an expert in personal injury. And one of the first questions that I would ask them is, have you ever gone to trial for personal injury? Because you don't want to get with someone that's always going to try to make you settle for less than what your claim is. Remember, we're in the business of maximizing your settlement. All right. So I always tell patients this. Okay, so if you handle it on your own and you don't understand the legalities of everything, me as an insurance adjuster will give you a few little pennies and send you on your way. And you'll think that's what you're supposed to get because the insurance company and the insurance representatives, their job is to keep the money in their pockets. They want to keep the money with the company. So they're going to offer you whatever. And if you were in dire straits, you're going to take it. And you wouldn't have even known that your claim was worth 10 times or 100 times more. It just depends on the severity. So which one is better? Because everybody's like, but I got to pay the attorney a third of my money. Well, which one is better? You getting $2,000 with no representation, or if your attorney is able to get you $25,000 and he or she gets a third. I'm taking the second option because it seems like I'm going to end up with more money in my pocket, depending on my claim. Okay, so that's just an example. I'm not an attorney. I can't guarantee what your settlement amount is. It's just an example, just to play around with the numbers. All right. Hey, Dion, thank you so much for tuning in. All right. So what I can guarantee you from me is that you're going to get an expert diagnosis, treatment, and documentation that's going to maximize your claims. All right, so tonight we were talking about the 10 things that you need to do when you've been in a car accident. And number 1 was always stop. I know it sounds elementary, but you need to stop. In some states, it is legally required for you to do so. And in some places, when you fail to stop, you go to jail. So you want to make sure that you do that. Number 2, never admit responsibility. Never ever admit responsibility at the accident. That's for the insurance companies to decide. Okay. Hey, Keisha, thank you so much for watching. Number 3, we want to call the police. I don't care if the damage to your car is minor, or you can't see anything, or you're not hurt. You want to have that legal document on file just in case. That's why we get 2 years here in the state of Georgia for statute of limitations. Injuries can come later. Damage to your car can be seen later after you check it out. You just don't know. So you want to get that legal document on file. Number 4, be quiet. Zip it. All right. You only should be answering questions that are asked of you by the police officer. You shouldn't be talking to the other party. Sit in your car and wait until the police arrives. All right. Which gets us to number 5. We want to get the facts about our accident. We want to have all of our facts in hand before we get our police report, because in many municipalities, it takes a minute for you to get that police report, and you don't want to have any delay in getting care or getting with your attorney before you have your information. Get your information right then. All right, number 6, take photos. Everybody has a camera on their phone. Take lots of photos. Take photos of everything. Photos of the car. Get several angles of it so you can give good pictures. Nowadays, our insurance companies will let us upload these photos and do our claim online. So that information is valuable. So take photos of the car. Take photos of the intersection. Take photos of the police officer, his badge number, all of that. Take photos of any of the witnesses that you may have that's there. All right, so we just want to take photos of the license plates. We want to get as much information as we possibly can. Number 7, we want to make sure we contact our insurance company. Remember, an insurance policy is a contract. So you want to make sure that you are following the boundaries of your contract. And many policies out there require that whether you're at fault or not, that you contact them about the accident. So you want to call your insurance company. After that, you want to go to the emergency room. All right. We want to make sure that you're checked out by a medical professional right then and there, because a lot of time there are underlying issues or underlying conditions that are happening within your body that you may not even know, and we want to get things in its infancy. Number 9, you want to go to the chiropractor. All right, you want to go to an expert. You want to go to someone that's good at personal injury. You want to vet your chiropractor. You want to ask them, have they gone to trial before? Have they done deposition? You want to ask them all those questions like that. You want to make sure that they are going to be a good witness for you, because they will be using their records. They will be using their charts, and then sometimes you have to write narratives. You want to make sure that you're dealing with somebody that has done that a lot. All right. And then the next thing we want to make sure that we do is we want to make sure that we call a good, reputable attorney. All right, so there's 10 things. So here we're at the end as it relates to this attorney. When you're going to your attorney, the attorney is your legal arm. They are not the medical arm. You have the right to be seen wherever you want to be seen. The attorney can't tell you where to go to be seen. It is your right to vet your medical professional. So if you want to go to a certain doctor, You tell the attorney where you would like to go, because the attorney works for you, not the other way around. Thank you, wellness heads, for tuning in to my Facebook Live. I am Dr. Nisa. This is the Dr. Nisa Show. We have been talking about the 10 key things that you want to do after you have been in a car accident. We want to say thank you again for tuning in. I want to also get you to go to my social media outlets, and I would like for you to like me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. My handle is Dr. Nisa DC. That's DRNISSADC. And you also can subscribe to my YouTube channel, and that's by the same name, Dr. Nisa. And we're going to be doing a whole lot of giveaways. We're going to be doing videos on lots of information that's going to be beneficial to you. So I need for you to go ahead and like my channel, as well as like my social media outlets. Again, this is Dr. Nisa Show. We came in a day early. Our show is normally Thursdays at 7 o'clock. Because it's the holiday tomorrow, I decided to go ahead and come on today at 7. That way everybody can enjoy their wonderful 4th of July and see all the wonderful fireworks displays that will be going on. If you're local here in Macon and tuning in here in Macon, remember you have a fireworks show that will be going on out at Lake Toba South Key. So thank you so much. If you have any questions as it relates to any of the information that I have given you tonight, feel free to comment in the comment section. I also would like for you to share this information. There's a share button down there. Share this with your friends and family. This is good information that they need to know about. So you want to share it with somebody. And if you've been in a car accident, please call us over at Total Health Chiropractic. Our number is really easy to remember. It's 478-746-PAIN. And we will be happy to get your back on track. That's what we do over there, because you can get quicker relief and faster results with chiropractic care. Again, if you have any questions, put them in the comment. I'll answer them after the live taping. And you can also give us a call back over at the office. Thank you so much.